Greetings, this is Matt Fiello, Technical Marketing Engineer with the Cisco Cloud Networking Compute BU, and we're back with another Intersight Managed Mode Expert Series video. We're still continuing our discussions with server profile policies, and in this video, we're going to focus on the Fibre Channel Network Policy. So standard format, we're going to introduce the policy with a few slides, and then finish up with a demonstration. Okay, so before we jump into details about the Fibre Channel Network policy, let's take a step back and kind of look at the overall server policies. We have currently 39 server policies for Intersight. Okay, so of those 39 total policies, the policies you see highlighted here are largely um, dedicated or apply to standalone C-series managements, with a few also doubling down with domain policies, things like NTP, for instance. So we're not going to really focus on these highlighted policies in this series because we're talking Intersight Managed Mode servers. So then that brings us to the highlighted policy, which is the subject of the video, the Fibre Channel Network Policy. And we can see that that's accessible in infrastructure service at the top. Okay, go to policies. I always like to filter. You see a server, then you see the Fibre Channel Network Policy in the second column. Okay, so the Fibre Channel Network Policy, in effect, it's your vSAN policy. That's really what you're doing. You're identifying the vSAN that your fiber channel traffic is going to ride within the server profile. Okay. Um, and based on how you've configured your SAN in your organization, you're likely going to want to have a separate FC network policy per fabric. Okay, a lot of times it's like even numbers, odd numbers, etc. And it's two different vSANs. And of course, you can only have one vSAN identified or configured per policy. Okay, so I like to split them out like vSAN 10 on the A side, vSAN 11 on the B side, and I'd like to make sure that my naming of that policy corresponds to those vSANs just to make things easier. Okay. This policy works in conjunction with the port policy on the domain side. So you have your domain profile and the port policy that's included in that domain profile. Within that port policy, you're also identifying the fabric vSANs. Okay, so obviously there's two places to configure. You have to have the vSAN configured on the fabric side, and then you're going to use this policy, the FC network policy, to actually attach the vSAN to its VHBA within the server profile. Okay, so I like to always include this little tidbit in discussion. Is the policy required? Because so many policies were required in the legacy UCS Manager, UCS Central solutions. No, this policy is absolutely not required to get a successful deployment of your server profile in Intersight Managed Mode. However, if you're doing if you're using Fibre Channel and you have VHBAs, you absolutely need this policy for everything to work properly. If you're not doing Fibre Channel, then there's absolutely no need to use this policy. Okay. And then as far as recommendations, again, I'll restate as I did in the prior slide. I would recommend using fabric specific policies. Okay. And here's just a naming convention. You can see I've got two policies, FCNet-10. 10 is the vSAN number on the A fabric, and then its corresponding FCNet policy, which is 11, vSAN 11 on the B fabric. So just an example. As far as verification goes, after you've deployed down the server profile down to your server, very similar to how we verified VLANs with the Ethernet network group policy deployment. So for this FC network policy, you certainly can, top right there, you can do a show int brief. you scroll all the way down, you're going to see your vSANs. You can see I'm connected into the A fabric. Okay, so I connected to NXOS A, and that's why you're seeing vSAN 10 at the bottom. Okay, and then if we do a show run int, and then we grep and filter on my server profile name, in this case, Bravo 26-SV-1-1, I can see my switch port trunk allowed is vSAN 10. Okay, and then I can see the interface, the VETH interface down below. So just a simple way of verifying after you've deployed the server profile, you want to see, how it shows up within the Fabric interconnect. And as with all IMM Expert Series video, I like to include a graphic slide that portrays the relationship between the server profile template and the policy in question. So if you see on the left, we got the server profile template, and then in the middle, we have the SAN connectivity policy that we will attach to the server profile template or server profile. And you can see as we configure that SAN connectivity policy, when we go add a VHBA, then we expose the ability then to attach the fiber channel network policy, our vSAN, to each and every corresponding VHBA. Okay, so let's move on with the demonstration of creating that policy, fiber channel network policy. So here we are in Intersight, and we are in infrastructure service. And let's go down to policies, and we're going to create a policy. I always like to filter the policies down to what I'm working with. In this case, I'm working with UCS server policies. And we can see that we have our fiber channel network policy. So let's click start. We always have to give it a name. So, and we can see FC net, and if I'm passing vSAN 10, and I'm going to do that on the A side, maybe I want to put a -A there. Okay, so some meaningful name based on your like standards within your organization, but I absolutely can't stress enough. Some of these names are innocuous, all right? They're very generic. Okay, that just makes things tougher going forward, especially when troubleshooting and stuff. So go ahead and give it a meaningful name. You can set your tags and description. Click next. Also want to call out and point out, as I've done in some of the other videos, you can actually pick the platform type. So in other words, all platforms, that means it would be, this policy could apply to a standalone C series server claimed to Intersight, okay, as well as an X series server, B series server, that's part of a chassis connected to the Fabric Interconnect, or a C series server that is actually managed by the Fabric Interconnect. All right. So the reason I'm calling it out here is you can see that there's a default VLAN parameter there that shows up, okay, for a standalone policy as opposed to an FI attached. Okay. So lesson learned here is kind of be specific with your platform type here. I mean, you can go, all platforms if that's your use case and you have a mixed bag and you're going to use this policy in standalone server profiles as well as B series or X series server profiles. That's your choice. You can also be discrete, okay, and build separate policies accordingly. It's up to you. All right, so we're going to select UCS server FI attached. Okay, we would actually put our vSAN number in and then click create. And that completes our demonstration. And that completes our video today about fiber channel network policies. I sure hope you were able to learn something from this video. Stay tuned for more Intersight Managed Mode Expert Series videos. And I thank you for your time and attention.